5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
This is About Space, America's return to space, with news and information on our U.S. space program. Is your host of About Space, David Denault.
Welcome, and thanks for joining me today. A former NASA astronaut, Pam Mallory, has been nominated to serve as the agency's deputy administrator. She was one of only 2 women to command a space shuttle. Her amazing story next on About Space today. This is your host of About Space, inviting you to join our spring Come and See special at the Best Western on Cocoa Beach on any Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. You stay for 3 nights but only pay for 2. And included are 2 tickets to the Kennedy Space Center and 2 tickets to the live worldwide broadcast of About Space Today. And plus there's a full breakfast daily. And all the amenities of the hotel for just $215 per person for 4 days and 3 nights. That's $215 for 4 days and 3 nights at an oceanfront resort. For reservations or information, email ddcruise@andtours.com or call 877-747-8631. That's 877-747-8631. And come on down to see the Space Coast. She was one of only 2 women to command a space shuttle. Pam Mallory logged more than 38 days in space, and all 3 of her missions were assembly missions to build the International Space Station before leaving the agency in August 2009. Born in 1961, Pam says she always wanted to be an astronaut after watching Apollo 11 land on the moon.
I always knew I wanted to be an astronaut. It was the second thing you learned about me after my name. I'm Pam Mallory and I'm going to be an astronaut. I've always been interested in flying. Little girls in the 60s were not encouraged to play with toy airplanes, but I used to line my dolls up and fly them around like airplanes. I would hold them by the head and fly them around and pretend they were magic, right? That they could fly. And I dreamed about that all the time. I always wanted to be able to fly up into the clouds. When I look back on it now, though, I think if I'd had the same opportunities that little girls do today, I think I would have realized a lot sooner that I wanted to be a pilot. My father was in the Air Force in the United States. My mom was full-time stay-at-home to take care of the kids. Incredibly smart, though. But the most important thing is they've told me my entire life I could do anything I wanted to. When I told them I wanted to be an astronaut after I watched the moon landing, I know a lot of other little girls whose parents said, "Oh, yeah, sorry, girls can't be astronauts." And my parents just said, "Okay, yeah, you can go be an astronaut." All the astronauts when I was a little girl were test pilots, so I decided I was going to do that too. Test pilots are scientists and engineers who do experiments with airplanes, and that's, in a nutshell, what that job is. The other thing that I tell kids when I talk about it is you need to just pick something you really love and then go off and be good at it. Every single one of my flights had a moment that felt like that moment where, oh, goodness gracious, here we go. We need to draw on our training and our experiences and the teamwork of the crew. And then on my 3rd flight, the biggest one of all, when we went to deploy a solar array, it tore, fully electrified, no way to touch it without electrocuting the suit and all the equipment unless you had insulated tools. So we had to prepare for an emergency spacewalk and get an astronaut out where they shouldn't be to literally stitch up this solar array. The future of the space station depended on us being successful, and it was quite dangerous, actually, very dangerous indeed. But we were successful.
What kind of experience is being in space like?
We don't have the words to really describe the whole experience in space. It's an experience like no other. There's a physical dimension of floating around in microgravity. It's sort of like my dream with the dolls. When I was a little girl flying around, you literally can fly. You're floating everywhere. But the things that you see, feel, hear in space are different and unique. But most inspiring of all, of course, is to look at the Earth. The pictures and the video, it's two-dimensional, and we all know the difference between watching something on TV and being there for real. And to see our Earth in 3 dimensions unroll below you is absolutely magnificent.
Pam Mallory, the new Deputy Administrator of NASA, and her experience as an astronaut, shuttle space commander, and U.S. Air Force test pilot really will bring to NASA a unique perspective on the opportunities and challenges facing the agency. Be sure to have your family and friends listen each Tuesday with me on About Space Today, and on Fridays, America in Space with Dawn Meyer from Florida's Space Coast. And follow us on Facebook at aboutspace.today for space news and updates. And our Tuesday shout-out goes out to France with its many listeners who enjoy our weekly programs. And to all our friends and listeners around the globe and here in the U.S., thank you for listening. I'm David Denault, and this has been About Space Today.